Hey, and welcome to the podcast. This is the Ygartua Art Chronicles, discovering the life, work, and adventures of Paul Ygartua. In today's episode, we are talking to Joanne and Paul about another European trip, including the wonders of Venice. First, we start off, though, in Vancouver, before returning again to Cannes once more.
Then back in Vancouver, we meet again with, it's always the native subject, people in this area, of course, knew him for his native works. And so the next gallery is Qualicum Gallery, which was owned by Hal Jones. And he was a big collector, one of the biggest in North America, of artifacts and native masks.
Inuit works and everything.
All the Inuit work as well. And he asked Paul if he could do a one-man show on the Inuit people.
That's right, yeah.
Ah, nice,
and
yeah.
He had never done the Inuits like a group.
And they're very different, the Inuits. They almost, have the Eskimo features and everything. So it's different painting those type of faces,
Because they're so high up there, in a way, a little oriental.
Well, it's the Eskimo look, isn't it? It's it goes right across to Russia.
Yeah.
That's right, when the land masses were joined up. Yeah, that's true.
That's right, yeah.
And we were amazed, and we started studying more about the Inuits, and it's extraordinary what a lifestyle. How did they survive that?
9,000, 10,000 years in the freezing cold.
Yeah, just like how would it be possible? And they have their own unique language. Like where did they come from? Were they here before the others, or was it just a steady migration?
The indigenous people all over the world have that same sort of background with their language and their history and everything. That's quite unique.
So how did that exhibition go then? That was it was
good. Yeah,
similar style of portrait.
Yeah.
And then
introducing also the Inuit carvings and designs, so that it wasn't just a portrait; it was a combination of the three things, almost the same as I did with the West Coast natives using their totem poles. Except
we always say that Paul, paints beyond the face, right? People, throughout the years, they're sort of. Certain people spellbound to the point. I have had clients where their hair stands on end on their arm, like it's really something.
Quite frightening.
I guess it's just so.
Mind you, I've had a lot of reactions to the faces because certain people can't handle.
Some
really
people can.
Strong-looking portraits, and the natives, some of them have really wild looks. They almost look like they want to kill you, the expression.
Intense expressions,
Very intense,
The word intent. And I always love the large faces. And for me, obviously they're faces of wisdom, strength.
And women seem to handle them better than men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. Women
really?
I've saw more to women than men in that.
You mean this sort of feeling challenged by the strength of the face?
Maybe
what
there's
is it?
a little intimidation towards the men from a face like that.
Well, they did
strong character,
They did feel that way with the Matador as well. He used to do wonderful sort of back view of the Matador, which is pretty nice.
I made them look pretty good looking, as far as from the back,
Yeah, well, they had pretty nice outfits as well.
Yeah, very
There was
outfits.
a couple of occasions where the
women love those,
they wanted it, and the man,
men
I'm
were
not
not so
sure I
sure.
want it in my
I
bedroom.
don't want to be looking at that.
Tight trousers and,
rear end of a
matador.
Matador.
In his tight trousers, yeah. I know in some cultures it's disrespectful to paint people's portraits and stuff, but I guess that you haven't come across that ever.
No, maybe in some of the Arab countries. I'm not sure whether they like portraits.
We did hear something years back about the natives, but actually, upon reading a little more on Curtis lately, they were pretty keen to be photographed. Once he had their confidence, and that he was really just trying to record history. So then I do the Art Vancouver. This is a show down in Robson, not the same as today's Art Vancouver. And I meet this Italian architect. At that time, we had the largest samurai, which is 8 feet by maybe
5 foot by 8 foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
In sections.
Yeah, and pieced together, and then I had one large frame around the whole lot. Yeah.
So
it's like a jigsaw with a frame around the outside.
So it's quite spectacular.
That's in our apartment right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saved it in the end. But so I have this Italian architect running through the show, and then he says, "Oh my gosh, I have my Japanese client. I'm picking him up from the airport tomorrow. I'll bring him down. I know he's going to love it for his office." So this Japanese guy, they had Vancouver offices, but they're, big international
We had to take
company.
it down to his office.
Yeah, and unfortunately...
Would you believe it didn't fit? It was too big for them.
But
okay.
he was a gentleman, this guy, and he immediately says, "Well, okay, I know Paul does portraits, and I am building a new golf club in Point Roberts, USA. That's just over our border here." And he says, what was the... Oh, yeah, Masashi Ozaki.
Famous golfer.
Yeah, in the top 10 in the world.
He wondered if I could paint 6 paintings, large paintings of him.
Yeah,
wow.
So this was going to go all around the room, I guess the boardroom or one of the rooms in the golf club.
Yeah.
Right.
So I did that for him, which was pretty good commission.
Yeah, so that worked out nice, and we got to keep the big samurai.
And we got to keep that.
And that's the one
immediately
and that's in your apartment now?
That's in our apartment now,
Yeah, now that I wouldn't sell this for 50,000.
No, of course not.
And actually, I want more and more plexi, but all summer where it's good weather, Paul actually was busy with Ygartua doing other things, and it's Eagle Spirit that he has mainly plexi. And so we got a little distracted with other things. So anyways, back to plexi in the winter maybe, right?
So you're still doing plexi? It's still an ongoing...
I still do it. Not lately, but I've been doing it. Last year I did quite a few. I've got about 4 or 5 in the apartment. They're all about 4 foot by 6 foot.
But pieces ready.
And these are all abstracts, which are ready to go anywhere if anybody is interested. So we have them up on the site, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure I got everything, but so then we're preparing to leave again, back 91, 92, back to Europe.
But a prolific good year in Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, whenever we're here, it's really just a work job, all the time working.
Well, we're, Paul,
building up a stock,
Yeah, Paul is prolific, so our life is the same, I guess, that I can do as many shows as I want. I am never short of paintings. 91, 92, going back to Europe, it's probably our busiest year ever.
Oh, in Europe,
because there's so many events as well that we could coincide with children's holidays. So we had the Venice Carnaval,
Venice Carnaval
with the February. We had Seville, which was the May, and it coincides. Then we had in the summer we had the Barcelona Olympics.
Oh gosh! Yeah.
And
Venice was fantastic. Yeah.
So
we drove there.
Hold on. So back again as part of the same pattern of coming from the North America to Europe, another school year, based in where in Cannes and visiting Sitges and But this year was special and very different to some other years because of Venice and because you happened to go to Venice, the Biennale, was it? In
Carnival.
In spring.
Carnival. It was the 100th anniversary.
It's February, it's the Lent holiday that you guys get in France, so that coincides with the carnivals all around the world.
And our friend, who's an artist, had been to Venice, and he had stayed in this hotel.
El Gallo.
El Gallo, and he told us, when he came through Cannes, he told us all about this place, and he said, you should go and book in this hotel because the guy really loves art and he's an art lover, and he has a nice hotel, and you should book it for the carnival. So Joanne actually sent some of our flyers to the guy, our pamphlets, and we get to hear from him. And anyway, we book in there couldn't get the actual days of the carnival, but we got a few days before.
5 days.
5 days before the
7.
carnival.
Yeah.
For 7 days. And so we ended up driving there, and we met him, and he was a really incredible guy, very generous. He had a bottle of wine every day left in our room. He loved my work. And so he says, well, you have to come to my house on the Lido.
He said, your big van, there's no place in Venice. I'll let you park it at my home on La Ile de Lido.
The Lido, yeah. So we go there with the kids. We go there for one day and spend all day drinking and eating at his place.
So, well, we had the kids say, what are you doing? We don't even know this guy.
We don't even know this guy.
And we haven't even seen Venice yet, because that was the
but he
very
has
first
good wine,
day.
dear. He has good wine.
Nice hors d'oeuvres and opera.
And opera playing in the background.
Yeah. But we are normally the ones talking, but this guy
Never stopped.
did all the talking.
You met your match.
And
Yeah.
I think so.
he enjoyed, I guess, tourists. He probably figured he won't see us again, and he told us his whole life story, like about his wife and him, and he always wanted. He was a seaman, but he always wanted to own a hotel in Venice. And he said, right now, if the mafia come, they'll want 10%. I'll just close it down. I will not deal with the mafia. So we got all the inside on.
Oh, yeah.
So we left there in the evening with the kids because they were driving us crazy. And we went back to Venice, and then we spent the whole evening with masks on, walking around the town. And, excellent. It was the 500th anniversary, so people were really geared up for the event, you know what I mean? There was theatre going on in Piazza San Marco. They had little groups of theatre acting going on, and then they had all these incredible bloody masks, people dressed up like to the hilt, and with the background of the piazza and the buildings,
Piazza
the
San Marco.
architecture. It just created an ambience that was to die for at night. Can you imagine, with the lighting and everything?
Yeah.
Just amazing, you know. And they were dressed almost in those medieval outfits as well. And the idea, of course, is that when you've got the mask on and the outfit on, you can't tell the difference between the rich or the poor. And I think carnivals all over the world were basically for the poor people, for the middle, everybody, for the public to enjoy and release and be a part of something grandiose,
Yeah.
It's an interesting philosophy, everywhere in the world.
Well, that was the third carnival that we've been to, because we've been to the Rio, the New Orleans, which are among the biggest.
All three are completely different, of course.
And Venice is, they're different. They're the biggest, of course. In
New Orleans
Europe.
was a lot of jazz everywhere. And,
that was wonderful.
And
they're
in Rio, it was the parade of the outfits that they've spent all year preparing for. And of course, because the weather's so warm, most of them are half naked.
That's the difference.
Girls are definitely
Half naked.
using their talents.
Well, that's the difference. You've got like 35 degrees in Rio when they have the carnival, and in Venice in
freezing.
February it is freezing.
Oh, yeah, that's
right?
true.
It is,
Yeah.
So
one's like a winter carnival, the other's like a summer carnival.
same
down there it's summer in February.
same time of the year, and the same in New Orleans.
Yeah. Just to backtrack, the reason was purely because a friend who was an artist suggested that you go there.
No,
we had planned to go anyway, but we didn't know where we were going to stay.
Yeah.
So this gave us an opportunity to actually know of a place that someone's already spent time in, and it was, nice.
Decent,
Every trip that we do is always a combination. We pick, for us, we think the most incredible places, because subject matter for Paul to paint will be pretty special.
Yeah.
And always with the idea, in those days, we were taking another show back